Hey, what's going on, guys? Indy here with Ultimate Tour Reviews. Today we're talking about SDS Hammers. We're going to go into a little bit about 18 volt versus the 40 volt XGT. Now, this is the original hammer drill that I bought a couple years back. I do a little bit of breaking up, some stuff once in a while for when I do junk removal, of course. And this thing has gotten me by so far. And I ran into a job recently where I was breaking up a concrete pad for an AC unit. I will say it did it, but it took about 30 minutes of work to get through it. Now, luckily, I was able to do it in just one 5 amp hour battery, burned it all the way down to just 1 bar, but I did it though. That's the thing. It still kicked through it, which is pretty awesome. But I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this again in 30 minutes. I want to get something a little bit better. But at the same time, I don't want to drop $800 on some type of SDS hammer that I only use these things, a handful of times a year. They're definitely not a common tool for me to use, but when I want to use it, I want to be able to get, the job done as quick as possible. So I said, hey, what is the most affordable XGT, breaker SDS that is out there? And this one is basically what I found. This is going to be the XGT GRH07Z. This is tool only. Grab this thing on eBay for about $200, free shipping, not a bad deal at all. I think they go for a hair over $300 brand new. And of course, this thing is one of the rebate items right now for a lot of the more expensive SDSs. So you buy one of the more expensive ones, you can actually get the rebate and get this thing for free, shipped to you directly from Makita. That's cool and all, but I don't want to spend $600, $700, $800 to do that because I don't really need the tool that much. But I wanted to compare these two tools because this is going to be the Makita XRH01, just a regular 18 volt. This is like the cheapest 18 volt I found that just has the hammer mode only. It's going to be 1.7 foot-pounds of impact energy, which is, the hitting energy there, while the XGT is 2.7 foot-pounds. Doesn't really sound like a huge number there, which it definitely is not in the world of SDSs. But what that means, though, is that we have a full 1 foot-pound more of energy here in the new XGT. Now, for what I do for breaking up stuff, it's going to be nothing larger than a standard concrete pad sidewalk, about 4 inches thick. The concrete pad I did was about, I think it was like 5 feet by 5 feet, somewhere in that range. And yeah, it took about 30 plus minutes to break it up. Really took a long time. I said, hey, let's upgrade to something else that's better. Now, one thing I cannot find any good answers on is when it comes to the impact energy, what does that actually translate to? Like, if you got 1.7 and you got 2.7, how much quicker is the 2.7 than the 1.7? Well, I'm going to show you guys that today. I actually saved a good-sized chunk of that piece that I broke up, and I'm going to show you guys the difference between how fast or how slow this thing breaks through it and how much better this one breaks through it. I'm wondering why this thing looks so dirty already. I actually had a job I did on this thing already this morning. One of my neighbors had me help break up a little bit of concrete for him. No problem. This thing is actually a pretty decent, little breaker here for it. Not insane, like, wow, this thing is blasting through concrete like it's nothing, but definitely a nice upgrade from 18 volt to go to 40 volt. So let's check this thing out. Out of the box, this comes with, of course, the handle attached. We have drill only mode. We have, of course, our hammer and drill mode, and then we have our regular neutral setting here. And we got our hammer only mode. Neutral setting, I believe, is for when you are inputting something like a spade bit or something that has to be basically oriented in a certain rotation. This allows this thing to then spin freely, and then of course you can then lock it back into whatever it needs to be, and there you go. For basically like hammer mode only there. Not something I really use ever myself, but it's handy to have when you do need it. We have AFT, anti-feedback technology, anti-vibration technology. And let me show what that means when they say anti-vibration technology. Check out this handle. You'll see how much, dampening there is between the actual body of the tool and the handle. That is kind of the whole story about this thing. You can see right here, this whole section of the tool is basically isolated from the front hammer section. So everything you're holding onto, this handle, and the back section is isolated from that vibration. Pretty cool design there by Makita. And of course, we do have forward and reverse on this, which is pretty neat. I don't use it enough to actually understand what that would be for, to actually have that in reverse. I guess if you get the bit stuck, putting this thing in reverse would help. But I've never needed to actually put a SDS in reverse before. but that option is there. Of course, a brushless motor. These both have brushless motors. But the isolation there in the vibration is definitely really noticeable. If you buy this in a kit, it usually ships with a 4 amp hour battery. That's what I've got today. I'm using a 5 with my 18 volt. And let's get this thing checked out. Other than that, in the box, you're going to get a can of grease, which is nice. You've also got the manual. You've got your little thing here for helping you, basically a depth guide there. And you've got a nice little rag here for cleaning. Really cool Makita rag there. That's really neat. Definitely like that touch there. But that's about it here for the XGT. Let's get outside and break up some concrete. All right, to start here, we're going to use the XRH01 18 volt. Pretty standard concrete pad here. Of course, there is a ton of stone in this thing. So let me show you guys how well this thing works. You're wondering what a 18 volt breaker looks like, how it performs. Here you go. This is an 18 volt. Let's try to crack this thing apart. All right, there you go. Definitely taking the slow and steady route here on this thing. Yeah, it does it, but it's pretty slow, and that's going to be your 1.7 foot-pounds of impact energy. Let's use the exact same bit in here and give the XGT a try. Yeah. Bam, just like that. Had I have done that with the 18 volt, that would have taken me easily, I think, 6 times as long. This thing really just turns concrete into butter, and that is awesome how quick that thing just split that thing down. I wish I had this one on that project I did a couple weeks ago. Would have made easy, quick work of that job. All right, guys, so as you can see during that test, the XGT is significantly better here. Now, of course, it's obviously a lot newer. This thing is getting pretty old on me. It's obviously, seeing its better days here. But I will say, I really wanted to show in this video, guys, the difference between a 1.7 and a 2.7 foot-pounds of impact energy. It may sound like such a small number, but wow, the difference in this thing is absolutely huge. It's so much faster. It's not like it's twice as fast. Honestly, this thing feels at least 4 times as fast breaking through concrete as the 18 volt. Yeah, I'm sure the 18 volt probably isn't putting out a full 1.7 anymore, but just showing you that upgrading to a much more powerful tool doesn't seem much more powerful on paper. Yeah, it makes a massive difference, especially if you're, pounding through some concrete here. You might think, yeah, this thing was pounding that concrete pretty good. I could do a sidewalk in this. No, don't recommend it. If you're just hitting the sides of that, turning into small stones, if you're breaking up an actual piece of sidewalk or a AC pad, you want to be able to cut right down the middle of that thing and break that into smaller chunks as quickly as possible, not just break off little chunks on the side there. That's what I want to show with the XGT. I want to split the thing in half as fast as possible. That thing did an amazing job, and that is awesome. This is actually pretty much the entry-level XGT breaker, too. They make much, much more powerful ones. And do I need it? No. Would I want it? Yeah. But do I want to spend $700 on one? Not really. I'm not going to use it that much to actually get the value out of it. Will this thing work for me though? Yes, that thing did an absolutely amazing job. XGT batteries do absolutely incredible. And did I even burn 1 bar on this battery? Nope, still full bars. So there we go. That is pretty sweet. Honestly, yeah, it's worth going to XGT over 18 volt for this tool. And I know I've been doing a lot of these videos talking about 18 volt versus XGT. A handful of tools I think are well worth it to go to XGT. Things like chainsaws, mowers, string trimmers, anything to do with heavy duty work, definitely worth going to XGT. And honestly, I'm really happy with the way this test went, with definitely showing that the XGT definitely nailed it here, honestly. Is it more expensive? Yes. I mean, this tool is not cheap either, but, the XGT batteries are definitely expensive. The chargers are expensive. But if time really does matter to you, like it does to me, I don't necessarily want to be on a job site when it's 100 degrees out, breaking a slab at a client's house. Yeah, I definitely thought it was a good idea to upgrade. I'm definitely happy with how this thing performs. So, honestly, when it comes to the impact energy, definitely check it out. But be aware, though, that when you upgrade from a 1.7 to a 2.7, it's a pretty big jump here. That's what I wanted to show you guys today. And I guys hope you guys enjoyed the video. Leave a comment below, guys. Let me know what you thought. And if you think it's worth going to XGT or staying with 18 volt for now. All right, guys. Take care, guys. Have a great day and stay safe out there.